So there's some new rumors suggesting that Microsoft wants to build an Xbox handheld in the future. So let's look into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So let's talk about Xbox Handheld, and I know that no such device exists right now, but rumors suggest that Microsoft may be interested in building one, or at least, I don't know, partnering with somebody to build one. We'll talk about it in a minute, of course. Now, from business perspective, I guess maybe it makes sense because there's actually quite a lot of interest in mobile devices overall, not only mobile phones but handhelds. Like obviously Nintendo is super successful with Switch. They are building a new one now. Looks like they will release it this year. There's these PC-like handhelds too, like Rog Ally. Steam Deck is very successful too. Jez Corden, I think, believes that Valve sold like 10 million devices, Steam Decks basically, right? And I'm sure that they will create a new one at some point in the future. And there's actually more and more devices on the market right now, like Rog Ally, but from other companies too, creating these AMD APU-based devices. And they are quite powerful. Yeah, they are actually quite expensive too, because Rog Ally is cost I think like 600. Like Steam Deck is not cheap either. So I guess there is a market for it. The technology is there. Interest is there. People clearly buy these devices. And generally speaking, I think that moving forward, mobile may be the way to go when it comes to like kids, right? I mean, myself and maybe people around my age, like 40 and 30s and stuff, right? In their 30s, 40s and whatever, right? I don't really play on mobile. I don't really play on handheld much. But there's still a lot of people that do like it. But if I look at my kids or my son or his friends, they are kind of expecting mobility, if you know what I mean, from devices, right? They want to have access to everything, everywhere. They want to play on mobile. They play a lot on mobile, like Brawl Stars and that kind of games all the time, right? And consoles, these kids do own consoles, but they don't really spend much time on them. Like, I don't know, at least these guys, these kids that I kind of see over here. So, having a handheld with all these apps and all these games, with a proper controls and stuff, actually may not be a bad idea. So imagine an Xbox Series S kind of mobile device. I'm talking about not the size, but like specs, for example. So games that would run at 720p and, at least 30 frames per second. Nobody would really complain about it, right? Imagine Xbox Series S being a handheld. Instead of people complaining about it, they would be praising it because, oh, it's so great and powerful also. Because now, obviously, I'm not saying that's possible right now. Probably yes, because let's face it, Xbox Series S is not really that powerful for a home console, but for a mobile, if they shrink the chip and whatever, right, do whatever needs to be done there, 4 teraflops is actually not too bad. And we already have devices more powerful. If you look at the Rog Ally, for example, yes, this is the Extreme Edition. So this one is actually pretty powerful, because if you look at like CPU, for example, that's Zen 4 4 nanometers process, 8 core, 16 threads, GPU, that's RDNA 3, 12 compute units, that's double, you know, really have to double that, and you know, high clock speeds, like up to 2.7 gigahertz on mobile. Are you joking me? You know, it just goes to show how performant, how powerful these devices are. So it goes up to 8.6 teraflops, and TDP is like 30 watts, like at max, right? I mean, can you believe it? And on top of that, it comes with all these, you know, kind of nice features: 7-inch TV, 1080p, or not TV, but screen, 1080p, IPS screen, 120 hertz, and 16 gigabytes of RAM. So that's even more than Xbox Series S. So, you know, you see where I'm going with this. So I'm not saying that they should actually shrink Xbox Series S, but what I'm saying is that building Xbox Series S or even higher spec console that would run Windows games or Xbox games is not a problem these days, really. Now, obviously, I'm not quite sure if you know, if Microsoft would actually want to invest in such a thing, or maybe just partner with somebody, because, you know, it could go both ways, really. I mean, they could build a console like that. They could make that console being compatible with, you know, all these Xbox games. Like, I mean, if they build an Xbox handheld that is slightly more powerful than Xbox Series S, so all these games would run just fine, right? Like, shrink it, equip it with all the latest features, you know, build it on 4 nanometers, you know, make the chip very small, and you know, and that would be a cool console. But on the other hand, they could just partner with somebody, some other company, and they could just build a Windows device, you know, make sure that, you know, whoever buys that uses the Xbox Game Pass. I mean, I guess they kind of do that already. Aren't they selling Xbox Game Pass with all these devices already? So maybe that's the way moving forward when it comes to handheld, Xbox handheld, right? Because, like, my problem with a proper dedicated Xbox handheld is the fact that Microsoft is kind of moving away from consoles, in a sense that that's not their main focus, right? I'm not saying that they're not going to be building new hardware. Like yesterday, I made a video about Jez Corden pretty much confirming that I think like multiple new Xbox hardware has been greenlit, you know, a couple of weeks ago. So, you know, clearly they are working on new hardware, and not just one. So not just new Xbox hardware, not next gen Xbox, but probably some other stuff too. But you know, we will have to wait and see. But like I said, listen, mobile handhelds actually make sense. I think Microsoft, it's actually funny because I've listened to Xbox 2 podcast recently, and Jez Corden is of an opinion, or maybe he knows something, that cloud is actually not that successful. So Microsoft bet on cloud, meaning on actually streaming, Xbox streaming, game streaming. And yeah, looks like they are not finding the success they were hoping for, and at the very beginning. So maybe they are shifting their focus on like mobile devices and that kind of stuff, and you know, PC, Windows devices overall, whether that's tablets or laptops or handhelds like Rog Ally, who knows, right? But you know, generally speaking, I think that yeah, a lot of people don't necessarily people do care about, you know, power and performance, don't get me wrong, that's for sure. But I think when it comes to playing on a go, just like Switch, like with Switch, they don't really care about all that power. I mean, you know, can't expect the best performance from a handheld, but you know, 4, 5, 6 teraflops handheld with a good CPU, 16 gigabytes, can take you, you know, places, if you know what I mean. I mean, Steam Deck is actually running games quite alright, and I think it's like 2 teraflops or 3 teraflops, I think. Maybe slightly more powerful, I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, you know, Steam Deck is like, what, 2-3 years old now? So, and, you know, technology improves. These latest AMD chips are just crazy, and they will just keep getting better and better. So a year, 2 years from now, you know, these chips are going to be even more powerful and performant and more efficient, and I'm not sure if cheaper, but still. So anyway, guys, the idea of Xbox handheld is an interesting one for sure. I'm sure that Microsoft is exploring that, but whether they would go with a dedicated Xbox handheld or maybe partner with somebody to, you know, promote Xbox Game Pass or Xbox games, well, Xbox as in PC games on Xbox store. Who knows? We'll see how that goes. But anyway, guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about it, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.